Nigerian women's basketball team moves.
With the face, bless them with the pretty mind too. I mean, look like her, but we're not the same, mind you. All the things I'm saying, I'll spin in your mind, mine too. Call it mental gymnastics or better, call it mind food. You can find your mind when you let the music find you right here on Smooth 98.1. This is Miss Eva Johnson, and don't you touch that dial.
No. Yes, we're live.
We will be following you. Every single jump, every trophy won, every wicket you break, every breakaway,
Yeah.
every cross, every dunk,
So there's live. Marks are up.
every victory, every single sport will be watching.
Welcome inside the locker room.
Yes, welcome. You're in time for Locker Room, and that's the segment where we'll talk about sports and every single interesting story of sporting activities through this week up until now. So for today, we have, well, for the rest of the time, actually, we have
For a
Biola.
few editions, yes.
Yep.
Biola Omowanle, how you doing this
I'm
morning?
fine, fantastic, really good to be in the studio again, good to be
Hey,
inside the locker room again,
Delicious.
because there are big, interesting things to talk about this morning.
Yes,
Of course,
yes.
how are we starting?
Yes.
Some people are excited in the studio.
Yes.
Yep.
Of course, we have to be excited. Listen, I was so hopeful waiting for that Argentina game, but it's okay. We're going to talk about it, guys.
After all the
As
threats.
we talk about this, do remember, share your thoughts, share your comments about today's sporting stories and the sporting stories over the week using the hashtag LockerRoom981 up on Twitter. Also, send us your comments to our WhatsApp number. It is 0809 4440981. We advise you to get those comments in nice and early so that you don't say that we deliberately overlook your comments. Please, well, stop. So respect us. Respect us. But you can also watch our faces in the studio and some of the behind the scenes chat by going over to YouTube right now.
Yes.
Just search in the YouTube search box for Smooth 981 FM Lagos.
So we start with the Tigress so we can appease the gods, eh?
Uh-huh.
So the-
In fact, you try it
can't
here.
not.
We'll beat you.
Okay, sorry. So the Nigerian women's basketball team moved closer to qualifying for the quarterfinals of the ongoing FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Spain after they defeated their counterparts from Argentina 75-70 in their last group game on Tuesday. So the Tigress yesterday promised to avenge, well, before yesterday, they actually promised to avenge the defeat suffered by the Super Eagles at the last FIFA World Cup against Argentina in Tuesday's game. And they did just that yesterday as they overpowered the South Americans to edge closer into securing a slot among the last 8 teams. The Tigers will now face Greece, who finished third in Group A in the quarterfinal qualification on Wednesday. The winner of the clash will square up with Giants USA in the quarterfinals.
Back-to-back
Back to
wins.
back.
Incredible feat, I must say. I mean, considering the fact that they had never even won a match in the FIBA World Cup before,
Yes.
and then going ahead to beat Turkey, backing it up against Argentina. It was a nervy match. I mean, 75-70.
That's close.
Both teams kept exchanging leads, and I almost pulled my hair out at some point. Really, I did. But really, it's really good to see that the Tigers were that motivated to beat Argentina. Argentina were also really motivated. I mean, they didn't want a third consecutive loss, but then, of course, we had to win, so they had to get that.
Ballers
But
now.
every player was motivated. Every player did as best as they could. I mean, 5 players got double figure points. That says a whole lot. I mean, it is very good to see that you don't have to rely just on one player, but every single player,
Of the
almost every
team,
player
yeah.
is consistent. So they'll be playing against Greece today, 5:30 p.m. precisely. I'm saying it so you guys can watch
We're
it.
ready this time.
Yeah.
So here's a question. I want to know, what do you think is pushing girls to go so far? I mean, clearly, like you said, they are motivated. Their tenacity is coming through. What was there in terms of preparation for them
Yeah.
for this World Cup that they haven't seen or that we haven't seen for them previously? Why do you think they're working so well as a team at the moment?
I
And
guess
and
this-
what do you predict is going going to happen with Greece and
That
going
prediction.
forward.
I think for the first time in a long time, the Tigers had better preparatory World Cup friendlies, had a whole lot of fun. The World Cup itself, they were visited by artists, by celebrities, motivated generally by Nigerians on social media. Almost all of them are very active on social media. As we
Yes, I
speak.
do follow them,
And
actually.
yeah, and
So
they
it's
see,
very exciting
and they
to
see how Nigerians have really backed them up. I think that
We're
is a
rooting for
really
them.
big one.
Yeah.
And then beating Turkey was the ultimate motivation. We've won one game. Who says we can't win another one?
Exactly.
We can keep going from there. And then going against Greece today, Greece finished third in their group, but then also have a chance to qualify. I think it's a big one, and I think the Tigers really can. I mean, they can dare to dream. We all can dare to dream at this point. But then I think getting to the quarterfinals is the main thing against USA.
Those are the big
Yes,
guns.
that is going to be really big. But first off, we have to face Greece. But it's one step at a time, really.
Yeah.
So 5:30 p.m. today, Nigerians again on social media and everywhere would be rooting for the Tigers. I'm already
Come on,
rooting,
girls.
yeah.
We're very proud
Your
and very
fingers crossed,
excited.
Valentine. No,
very proud,
no.
very excited. We're rooting for them. It would be nice to get all the way to play USA. And the girls, some of the girls will be playing against people that they've played on teams with, actually.
Yes, of
Which will be
course.
very interesting. Okay, let's talk some more about this. Belgium, Canada, USA, and Australia are celebrating moving into the last 8 of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2018, with the last 4 remaining tickets up for grabs in Wednesday's quarterfinal qualifications. That's today. Now, playing their maiden edition, Belgium are into the quarterfinals at the first time of asking after stunning hosts and frontrunners Spain with a 72-63 point victory. What? Their progression was made possible with a last gasp basket by Emma Meziman, and Belgium will rest for 2 days along with the unbeaten trio of the USA, Australia, and Canada, who also made it straight to the quarterfinals by topping their respective groups. So now the focus turns to who will join them.
Yes, fairy tale run for Belgium, I must say. Getting to the FIBA World Cup for the very first time, and then getting straight, without playing a qualification game, straight into the quarterfinals. I mean, the likes of USA, Canada, and Australia, usual faces. They're the big girls of this competition. They're the big girls in basketball all around the world. USA, especially 9-time champions. We definitely didn't see them crashing out at this point, or even having to play a quarterfinal qualification game. So really good one for Belgium. USA, of course, waiting for the winner between Nigeria and Greece. Then Spain, really shocking that they couldn't get it straight into the quarterfinals, knowing that their host will be facing Senegal. Congratulations to Senegal as well.
They also made a second win.
Yes, they didn't get a second win, but then they qualified somehow third in the group. But then they'll be facing Spain. So that's a really tough one. Maybe we get to see 2 African teams in the quarterfinals.
Hopefully.
That would be really fantastic. I'd like to see that. But then the quarterfinal matchups will definitely be incredible. But these quarterfinal qualification games, China versus Japan has to be the biggest mouth-watering clash.
I'm excited.
I mean, these are Asian powerhouses, basketball powerhouses. Today we'll be seeing those qualification games, and then the quarterfinals will be set up. I cannot wait to see. Maybe Senegal and Nigeria in the quarterfinals will happen. Fingers crossed.
And
It's
they'll
going to
win.
be hard, though.
Yes.
I like
Okay,
that.
yes,
Dare
yes,
to
that
dream,
can
dare
happen.
to dream,
We're
come
daring
on,
to dream
dare to
now.
dream.
So yes, that can happen.
You never
Going
know.
to the quarterfinals, we'll see what happens.
All we need is one person just underestimate us somewhere, or just
Yeah.
small injury. Not
Oh.
big, just small.
We'll
Just
do.
small injury.
Yes.
Only
Wicked.
small. No, that's like no big, small.
We should
It
have done
happens.
that.
Recurring sports injury.
Yeah, these things happen. Maybe it will happen this time.
Let's talk about AFCON. So the African Cup of Nations qualifying match between Nigeria and Libya has been moved from the Ahmadu Bello Stadium, Kaduna, to the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo, where the team will had played most of their home games in the Russia 2018 World Cup qualifiers. Now, according to the Director of Communications of the NFF, Ademola Olajire, the match was returned to Uyo as earlier designated. The Ahmadu Bello Stadium will not be ready for the match. So the game will be played on October 12th, while the return match holds 3 days later at Libya's adopted home country, Tunisia.
Okay, AFCON qualifiers. Yes, I think it's a good one really. I mean, we definitely don't want to play in a stadium which isn't ready to host the AFCON qualifiers.
Sure.
I mean, the Amadi Bello Stadium, as it is reported right now, is not in good shape, and we don't want to see, issues with the pitch like we had in our last games and all of that. The Akwa Ibom Stadium was recently laid again after it was destroyed during some political thing. That's another story. But then that has been laid now. It's a good pitch. Uyo has hosted the Super Eagles more than once, and fans usually come out en masse and all of that. It would be good to see a lot of supporters and all. So yes, I think that was a good decision. We've had a whole lot of issues with stadia, with security, with pitches in Nigeria, and we definitely look to avoid that this time. So yes, Akwa Ibom Stadium it shall be.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very interesting tweets coming in. Chinmay Nancy was one of the first in with this one. Congratulations to the Tigress. What the men, the Super Eagles, couldn't do, they have done it even better. I wish them victory today against Greece. We can do it.
Hey.
But Idris is a bit stressed. He says, must you bring the Super Eagles into it?
Sorry, no.
Yes, we must, Idris.
It is their turn.
Yes, we must. So sorry about that. We've got to take a very quick break, but do keep those messages coming in. Our WhatsApp number is 0809 444 0981. We got a flood of messages. Jude Van P says, congrats to the Tigress for finally getting one over Argentina. Hopefully Greece will bite the dust later today too. Yes, we stay hopeful.
All right, Lagos, keep it here. It's a smooth 98.1.
Hi, my name is Adesua Taimi, and you're listening to the Smooth Breakfast with Folu
Excellent
Storms
stuff.
and
Excellent. I was so excited. So excited. So excited. I even spoke about them in my podcast. I wish I'd waited like a few more hours. No, I mentioned them in my podcast, but I wish because I wanted to wait a few more hours to see if they would win. But I can always throw that in as an addition, which is dope. Ibadan girl, which state are you from? Lagos or your
Lagos.
Lagos, please. It's sports with S, not sport. Thank you so much. It's sports,
I just asked questions.
not sports. Okay, I know what's happening. That's why she's angry. So she's canceling. Reschedule.
Hi, this is Lettucey, and you're on Nigeria's #1 station for soul, jazz, and funk. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life.
So I figured that's what was happening.
They're so inconsistent. So. This morning they were still
So
asking
please,
me for time.
Sports.
Is it this one?
Yes.
I'll correct
So
it.
check. So which means must be wrong on something
I
else
just
as
went
well.
on, as I was typing, it was giving me
Okay,
the
yeah.
visual, so I
Yeah.
just clicked on it.
Yeah, please.
I'll correct
Thanks.
it when I do.
I know. Thanks. I
Alright.
appreciate it.
I know you're upset.
Like, I always tell when there's a planning thing going wrong because your whole face changes.
Yeah.
Oh
She's on Chartwell Bridge.
dear.
I don't get here until 9:30.
It's
Oh.
real now.
Yeah, guys, for you guys watching, we're dealing with something else. Do we turn down the volume on the thingy? Okay. That, that's what they put this thing here for. That we never use this. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back in.
especially in the traffic, the sounds of all the cars and everything.
Okay, I'll go get mine. I think I took them downstairs. I hope I didn't bin them. Okay.
Probably beat Usain Bolt. Lagos is beautiful. There's so many beautiful places to visit. So many
Lagos.
people to see. There's not one dull moment in Lagos. That's what I love about Lagos. This is Durora. And this is your love
Okay.
music,
Bye-bye.
love life station,
No.
Studio.
98.1.
We're talking sports inside of the locker room, and you're listening to Smooth 98.1, Smooth Breakfast with Folu.
And Valentine, and in the studio with us we have Biola, who's up on social media as Beorlicious. That's BEER.
ORLICIOUS.
There you go. That's the spelling. I can't spell off the top of my head. That's a secret. You've learned now. But let's go into our next sports story, as we've got many messages coming through as well. We'll see if we can take one or two of these messages.
Yes, we have this one from Chimobi Victor from Alaba International International. Chimobi says, congrats to our D Tigress for setting the pace for other African countries to follow. They should keep the momentum against Greece today on. We are right behind them.
Yes, we are.
Another
We
one
have
from-
George
yeah.
from Badore who says Nneka Ogumike is playing for the US in this FIBA World Cup, and Chinyere is in Anambra State on vacation currently. How come we could not get one of the girls to play for Nigeria? But there are a lot of girls playing for Nigeria. What's your point?
Victor Sai said, the girls have done very well. They helped us avenge Argentina. We can send Greece back to a recession and tell the US we are not illegal immigrants.
Wow.
See, analysis.
Biggie from K2 says, I see the tigress behaving like a real tigress. Folu praying for injuries. Remember, USA is there. And can someone explain what a storm that happened to Man U? What storm happened to them? I don't know. We'll get to that in just a bit. It takes us very nicely to our next story. So Frank Lampard got one over Jose Mourinho as Derby knocked Manchester United out of the Carabao Cup, winning 8-7 on penalties following a dramatic 2-2 draw on Tuesday. So in an incident-packed tie, United took the lead through Juan Mata's first goal in 9 months before Harry Wilson, on loan from Liverpool, by the way, equalized with a brilliant dipping free kick from 30 yards. Now United keeper Sergio Romero, making his first appearance of the season, was sent off for a handball before Jack Marriott's header put Derby 2-1 ahead. The host needed a 95th minute header from the substitute Marone Fellaini to send in the match to penalties. There were 15 perfect penalties until Phil Jones was denied by Scott Carson as Derby reached the last 16. This is so dramatic. What a dramatic game.
The theatre of dreams was the theatre of nightmares last night for Manchester United. I mean, it wasn't just losing to Derby County, it was the way they lost to Derby County. Really dominated for most of the game at home. I mean, the fans have every right to be livid, and they are livid right now. I mean, the hashtag Jose Mourinho out was trending on Twitter yesterday, and that's very understandable. I mean, it's been going from bad to worse for Manchester United this season. Towards the end of last season and the start of this season, at the moment 7th on the log in the EPL and out of the Carabao Cup already before the round of 16 is really unfortunate. I mean, the fans are calling for Mourinho's head right now, and they have every right to do so. I mean, he has spent about £500 million trying to build this team, and then it doesn't look good at all. The players seem to lack motivation. There are rumors here and there that he has lost the dressing room, always having roles with the likes of Pogba and all. And you know, generally when you see them play, you just know you can't exactly place it. Like, what is wrong?
No team spirit.
This is a team with so much quality, but then nothing is going on. With so much money spent, Jose Mourinho has to walk, is what everyone is saying. But then really, is Jose Mourinho really the problem? But because I think he has to be.
Yeah, because the buck stops with him at the end of the day.
He just has to be. This is a team with really big players, some of the best in the world, and they are not just motivated at the moment. We saw them play against different teams last season, and they really did well at some point. Looks like luck this season. It's just a matter of time, really. If they do not get their bearing in the next 3, 4, 5 matches, the fans will keep calling for his head, and then his head will definitely roll.
Special one lost his shine.
But then we need to give kudos to Derby County, to Frank Lampard. It was just his 10th game in his managerial career, and then doing this against his former coach. I must say the Derby County players play fantastic. And I mean, what can you say? He himself really taker. So yes, he has done a really good job with this team in 10 games alone. So congratulations to them.
I've got to ask you very quickly. I know we sort of moved on from Jose a little bit, but I mean, do you think his habit of continuously almost putting down the team, also in the pages of the press, he keeps saying, you know, well, I've won XYZ, you guys have a losing history, so you know, it has nothing to do with me, because if you look at it, it's clear I'm a winner. The problem is you. Do you think that perhaps is also what's affecting team morale and spirit?
It is. I mean, it always affects almost every Mourinho team at some point. His ego affects the team. I think he puts himself first before every other thing, and players don't want to be put down like that, especially in public. And sometimes you just keep quiet, even when you're having it rough or when you're having it good. But then that's just who Jose Mourinho is. But I think at this point, this must be one of the lowest points in his career, and this is when he should humble himself and just not say something.
Humble, you say?
Humble
Humble, you
yourself.
say?
Yeah, I think it needs to get to that point, especially knowing that the players are not motivated, the fans are really calling for your head. He needs to fix this team. He needs to humble himself. Both factors are really important at this time. So we need to see how far Manchester United go in the EPL and every other competition they're playing in the next few games. Those few games will really, really count for something.
Thank you, Biola.
I hate to break it to you guys though, but it seems like Jose and Humble do not go well together. Because now in this next story, Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho says he has no problem with Pogba, despite telling the midfielder that he would not captain the club again. Mourinho had stripped £89 million signing Pogba of the vice captaincy, reportedly because of concerns about his attitude. Mourinho said, "The only truth is that I made the decision for him not to be second captain anymore. But there is no fallout, no manager. I can make these decisions." He continues, "No fallout at all, no problem at all, just a decision that I do not have to explain." He said this on Sky Sports. He actually, Pogba was told of the decision before Tuesday's Carabao Cup penalty shootouts, defeat by Derby. And it's so much drama going on.
Yeah, so much drama. That is one of the, so much drama. Like you said, numerous issues with Manchester United, so many issues with the dressing room, so many issues with Pogba. We haven't really seen it live. We haven't seen anything really going on between both of them. But somehow you can just sense the tension, even when you're not seeing it for yourself. And, there have been so many rumors concerning both of them. And I don't think there is any smoke without fire. Jose Mourinho says there's no issue. They don't have personal issues. There's no beef. But I believe there is something going on. Maybe Pogba does have some attitude problems, but we know, of course, Jose Mourinho has attitude problems himself. So I think it's just probably they're having clash of ego there in the dressing room.
And it's interesting because Didier had spoken out earlier and just said, listen, he is being misunderstood there because I've worked with him before. He's a good guy. He means what he means, but the press are sort of have painted him in this very specific way, which actually made me stop and think like, oh.
Manager
Feels like it.
and the player. No, not
feels like it. Point. So up next, Liverpool third round tie against Chelsea on Wednesday. So summer signing, Alisson will be rested at Anfield with a millionaire to play his first Liverpool game since January. Chelsea are expected to rotate their lineup, while Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Pet's top scorer Eden Hazard will be part of the squad despite the clubs meeting again in the league on Saturday.
Yes, really, 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 really big clash today, knowing they'll be facing each other again over the weekend. I mean, both teams have to be rolling their eyes right now. But then Liverpool versus Chelsea, knowing they have so many here, and Chelsea with their injury issues, with the rotation that might happen, I can't wait to see that starting lineup. It's going to be the clash of the Titans as always between these two sides. Definitely.
All right. Keep your messages coming into WhatsApp 0809 444 981. We'll look at the next story very quickly, talking about Serena Williams in tennis. After making a difficult return to the tennis court post-baby and facing numerous challenges along the way, Serena Williams is hanging up her racket for the rest of the year. With her withdrawal from next week's China Open, Williams completes her 2018 season. It's official. So Williams opted to skip the premiere, a mandatory event in Beijing, meaning her season is officially at a close with 24 matches. Serena Williams made her much-anticipated return to Grand Slam tennis at the 2018 French Open, where she defeated Czech Republic's Kristina Pliskova in the first round. Unfortunately, she was forced to pull out of the finals due to an injury.
Yeah, of course. I have to say a big congratulations to Serena Williams. It was not a bad season. I mean, returning after having a baby, playing 7 tournaments, reaching 2 Grand Slam finals.
And with all the drama
yes,
around
with all that drama,
Osaka.
winning 18 games, losing 6. Not every woman comes back from having a baby less than a year. I think her baby was just about 6 months old when she returned officially to tennis. I think it was a really good feat. She needs to, and to today is her birthday, by the
Hey.
way.
Oh,
She's
happy
37.
birthday, Serena.
She's 37 today. A
Yeah.
37-year-old having a baby at that age, coming back to tennis at that age, and
Mm.
I don't want to say dominating, but playing really good games, getting to 2 Grand Slam finals is incredible. And I cannot wait to see how far she goes next season. I mean, I know Serena Williams very well. Like, she's my sister. And I know how upset she was about losing that Grand Slam final to Naomi Osaka. And we know how competitive she could be. She'll be back in 2019.
Very exciting stuff.
So we'll be back after this for more stories in the locker room.
Serena. Okay, which story do you want to end with?
We are going to take just one more, right?
Yes.
I think we should end with Simona.
Okay, Simona Halep. Idea.
Mm.
So isn't it Kalu's playing as well, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he? And Sarah.
Sarah will go here.
Mad exciting.
Okay, we're back. 10 seconds.
I know you like disturbing me.
10 seconds. Studios live. The hashtag is lockerroom981 on Twitter.
Absolutely. Let's jump very, then we'll go to your messages. World number 1 Simona Halep struggled to shake off the effects of a back injury before being beaten and 7 for Dominika Cibulkova at the second round of the Wuhan Open on Tuesday. Yikes. Halep, who injured herself in training earlier in the week, offered some resistance in the second set after a bad start to the match, but just an early exit in her first tournament since the US Open.
Yeah, really, really sad one. That injury came out of nowhere, like she said. And this is her 3rd consecutive loss, which is unfortunate. Since winning her first Grand Slam title at the Roland Garros, she's been struggling with various injuries, one injury after the other. And right now, I expect her to get some rest just before the WTA finals on the 21st of October. But then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she announced that she'll be taking a wild card into the Kremlin Cup on the 15th of October. She just seems really desperate to hold on to that number 1 spot till the end of the year, knowing that the likes of Caroline Wozniacki and Angelique Kerber are really chasing behind her with many points. So I think she can recover before the WTA finals. But the Kremlin Cup, I must say, must be a bad idea. But generally, it hasn't been a bad year for her. She won her first Grand Slam title, so yeah, good one. Before I run out of the studio, a quick correction that FIBA corrected. Nigeria's game, the Tigers game, won't be 5:30. It will be 2 p.m. So
2 p.m.
Yeah,
earlier.
earlier.
Shortly after
Just
lunch.
a few hours.
Yep.
Nice.
That could be your lunchtime viewing. Take a break from the office, go watch it for
Oh.
lunch.
Wherever
Ideas.
you are, watch it.
Chiwe Nancy sent in this message on Twitter. Chiwe says, at this rate, I would say Mourinho has lost it at Man U. The moment he begins to pick on his players, then there's a
I
problem.
tell you.
The third season syndrome has started again for Mario. Hope he survives it because I like him as a coach.
Jima Victor, meanwhile, says Team Senegal should follow the footsteps of the Tigress by getting a victory in the FIBA tournament. Wishing them the very best of luck against
We
Spain.
shall see.
They can do it.
Yes, we believe in them.
We live in hope.
Coming up next, Lagos, in 15 minutes, you get to talk. The number to call then is 0144899981. Please find Biola at Beorlicious.
Yep, that's BEEORLICIO. Yes.
That's right. Folu and I are still here. Good morning.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
You too.